So this is the vehicle that goes out to the stabilization points to pick up people.
This vehicle operates along the entire front line as a resuscitation ambulance for stabilizing critically and moderately wounded patients. It's the only one of its kind we have. The first point of contact regarding injuries is either me or the chief medical officer. I start making decisions about who goes where and what the nature of the injury is.
Do you make these decisions over the phone?
Over the phone on the secure line, I contact the battalion command post. I request information about the nature of the injury. If there is bleeding, if he is in critical condition, I have plasma, I immediately alert the crew. We warm up the plasma and head out to the starting point. We can't just take off immediately. I've worked out this situation now, where the case evac is quad bikes with trailers, and we meet at one point synchronously so we don't have to stand around for long. I contact the brigade's electronic warfare officer on duty. They cover the sky for me, putting a dome over me. Also, the battalion command posts are guiding me, and then I move out to the transfer points. We arrive synchronously, I open up nearby, and we move out. Every crew member knows what they are doing, because while we might stand there for 5 minutes, for example, the driver guards us with a pump-action shotgun, watching the sky, watching for any threats. If there is danger, he starts working. We've received the wounded person, he loads the wounded person, and we start working. We don't start off immediately. We start stabilizing the wounded person.
Meaning assessment?
Yes.
You check.
A quick trauma assessment. I start connecting all the devices. I have everything for this. The vehicle is fully equipped. I set everything up for myself within reach. By the rule of an outstretched arm, I reached out and took it. The monitor is fully connected. We take vital signs, pulse oximetry, non-invasive blood pressure, temperature sensor. We connect capnography. If he is intubated, we monitor carbon dioxide output. And in this state, we connect the veins, start the IV drip, and administer all the solutions. We prepare for this beforehand. We know the nature of the injury. We draw everything up on the go. We have these holders, which already have everything. The paramedic assists me. I establish access, and we start working on him. At this time, thanks to Starlink, I contact the stabilization point, describe the nature of the injuries so they are ready. I know all the routes, minute by minute, how long it takes to drive. I can arrive exactly on time, just as I calculated. That is, the stabilization point doesn't wait for me for hours, so they aren't just sleeping there or anything like that. They know that if I said I'd be there in 25 minutes, I arrive in 25 minutes because I know this road. I've already driven every inch of this place. And it's the same thing if another crew is working. I guide them the exact same way, and I know when they'll arrive. We work with tablets. We fill out Form 201 on the tablet and transmit it. So that means the chief medical officer and everyone else can see on their phone what we did, when we arrived, the time is recorded, and so on. In other words, everything is recorded.
You talk about it so casually. It feels like we're not at war, like you're not at war, that it's just, you know, some kind of paramedic somewhere or like a doctor in a mobile hospital. It's just such a routine for you, a routine. You just got used to it already.
Well, I've gotten used to it, of course. And I'll tell you, I've been a volunteer since about 2022. Next year, I'll be discharged. I'll be 60 years old. So these are still my children, really. I built this vehicle, and I am proud of this vehicle, thanks to the chief medical officer who helps and sees that
it works.
That it works, yes. As of today, we have already had 157 evacuations. We've had 15 evacuations just this month. That is, we go out every day, we pick them up every day, we save them every day, regardless of whether they have bleeding, regardless of whether they have a severe injury. We arrive, there's gas poisoning, we take them, blast trauma, we take them, some kind of acute respiratory issue, we take them, we take everyone, we stabilize them. If it's, say, limbs, they must be immobilized with splints, IVs connected. That is, when we bring a patient here to the stabilization point, I work for them too, so they spend less time fiddling with veins looking for access. They immediately connect all their equipment, start IVs, and so on. That is, the plasma is already flowing, the blood is already flowing. I make their job easier because I know that this is time needed to save him. If we just bring him in bare, well, just brought him and handed him over, I understand that this is time needed to get connected and so on.
And here, time matters.
Of course. Time matters.
So, purely from experience, you've developed this scheme where there are 3 basic points where a vehicle is on duty, where a quad bike can jump in and bring a wounded person. So did you arrive at this scheme through trial and error, or does logic just suggest it? Well, I mean, schemes aren't just made up out of thin air. Oh, I'll stand here. Oh, I'll be here.
It's all been practiced. It's all been driven through. The points changed from time to time depending on the operational situation because drones were flying and so on. So we coordinate all of this with the battalion commanders who, because we work in the sector of all the battalions that are stationed here along the entire line. I am in contact with them, with the operational duty officers. They all know me. And in principle, everyone, like the combat medics, the paramedics who are on duty on the lines, because I monitor the daily duty roster that is sent to me. I know who is going on duty. Every 2 hours, all crews plus the stabilization points report to me. Transport communication is 450. I know that both in winter and summer, their batteries are charged, the vehicles are filled with fuel, they can jump out at any moment. That is my requirement.
So you are effectively the senior officer in this sector.
Yes.
All responsibility and organization rests on you.
Yes.
Of the wounded evacuation process.
I built this in a year. I strove for this so that it would work, with some difficulties there and so on, but I carried it all on my own. Last year we had 73 evacuations there in 2 weeks, even in a week. It was very difficult when there were assaults here and so on. We evacuated a lot of people. In 3 hours we could perform 4 evacuations, including complex, difficult ones and so on. Plus, then we would stop at the stabilization point to stabilize because there was no strength left. Well, it was very difficult. So all of this was worked out. Thank God the roads there have been patched up a bit because we used to drive on those roads all covered in bruises because you're flying around inside the car like a helicopter. It's hard, of course, but we understand that this is someone's human life. This is someone's father or son, and he has children, a wife, and so on. We have to bring him in. And in order for that to happen, we have to put into practice everything we know, everything we are capable of.
You are a doctor who flies along these roads, and you said that thank God the roads are fine, are repaired and high quality roads. Important in this zone? Well, like, why are you repairing access roads here for the Muscovite equipment?
Yes, there is such an opinion, for example, there on those roads we drove on. It was impossible to drive calmly there. Well, for such vehicles, it's a very difficult road that in winter...
And there are no other vehicles, only these ones.
That the mud, it was terrible. Now the communities have started to fix these roads. Some people have this opinion. Who are you doing this for? Because there is no one left in these villages, but you are building like nice roads. For us, I don't care who it's being done for. I care about rapid evacuation. Or I'm driving for 35 to 40 minutes, shaking the patient. I need to stabilize him. I need to stabilize his head, stabilize his torso so that he doesn't slide around. We even came up with things for ourselves, like a soft splint. And when we do like peripheral access, we apply this splint to the limb and secure it. At first, the doctors at the primary care facility didn't understand what it was. They thought it was a fracture. Well, that's our little trick. We came up with it so that we could connect and, well, it doesn't go anywhere.
It's secure.
Everything drips just fine and it's all good. We even adapted and adjusted to these roads for that very reason. The roads are getting better now. Yes, they're being repaired nicely. If we used to take 35 minutes to get to the stabilization point, now we get there in 15 minutes. This is very, very important. It's the same way with these routes. Not all of them are done, of course, but for us it's super. There were so many Gebians standing here. We asked the city council to remove them because we were getting slowed down by these Gebians. There are big potholes near these Gebians and we have to stop and drive over them. If we stop, it's an attack for a drone. They can already see us. Our task is to zip through quickly and deliver, you know.
Well, you are a priority target right now as well. Especially since your vehicle is military, they definitely know.
Yes, everyone here knows us well, and the enemy certainly knows we are here too. They fully understand that as long as we are on duty, everything will be perfectly fine and under control.
Let's go in, Amon, and take a look. Well, this is already here with you, yes. Essentially, it's like a small intensive care unit.
Yes, this is our pride and joy. We have a concentrator here too. We threw out all the cylinders because you can't drive with a cylinder. This is a 10-liter concentrator. This is a ventilator. This is my spot as an anesthesiologist. There are little beds here.
All necessary.
Infusion tubes, bread boxes. Yes, there's a capnograph. There's even a breathalyzer. There is, in case someone needs to be blown into. There. Defibrillator, infusion pumps, glucometers.
In short, the whole kit, everything that's needed.
Everything. This is a very good thing, the Easy Pulse. We've already got a second one. I had the first one. It has already worked quite well and has saved more than one life. It's an expensive item, but very necessary. This is a device that we also wanted. A device that warms up the infusion solution during infusion. This is a water bath for warm, heating plasma, thawing, and warming up solutions in the winter period.
So you can, even in these conditions, perform blood transfusions without any problems now.
Easily.
Who handles the primary, evacuation? So, conditionally speaking, there is a wounded 300.
Primary evacuation is handled by...
Are these your people?
These are battalion ones, depending on which sector it happened in. It's CASIVAC. These are the guys who, all the guys now go through tactical medicine training. They know what to do. Their task is to shut the tap, stop the bleeding, warm him up, and bring him to me. This is called CASIVAC. It's without medical assistance. Then we receive him and start working on him, because if they don't stop the bleeding, they will bring me a KIA, killed in action.
Well, you see, there are a lot of stories right now about how the wounded are left for 2, 3, 5, 10 hours, and for days, and for whole days, and almost for months with...
Unfortunately, there are such cases. Our longest evacuation was 11 hours. The guys were in close combat. A bullet hit the thigh. They applied a tourniquet, and the tourniquet stayed on for 11 hours. And here, unfortunately, this leg had to be amputated. It's a pity he's 36 years old, but, there was no possibility to reevaluate it because there was an arterial hit. If there had been a reevaluation and repositioning of the tourniquet, he would have died. But thank God he applied that tourniquet himself. 11 hours, yes, agreed. But he stayed alive. That was the longest evacuation, 11 hours. But otherwise, in principle, we are given a time of 2 hours from the event to...
That is, you see, under ideal conditions.
Evacuation under ideal conditions.
Perfection doesn't exist?
Don't exist. But we, as an evacuation team, we have to do our job in 2 hours. We manage in about 40 minutes, well, maybe 50. That's from reaching the starting point, then to the handover point, working, and then back here. That is, we try to do this very quickly. Because the crew, I work through all the scenarios that might happen with the crew every day so that I don't have any surprises later.
And what kind of surprises could there be? Someone went the wrong way, did something wrong?
No, well, maybe they forgot where something is kept. So they have to learn this whole vehicle by heart, where everything is kept.
So a new person who comes to you, for example, as a replacement or something else, it starts with, here's the vehicle, learn where everything is.
I show everything, I explain everything. We touch everything with our fingers, with our hands. This is kept here, this is kept here, this is kept here, and this turns on like this turns on like that. Because here, for example, I set up the infusion pumps myself. What I need to drip, yes, I set the speed. The ventilator is already set up by me, where it turns on like the oxygenator, how the Easy Pulse turns on. Right now, I also have a Schiller, which it's being tested there. They should send it back. There is a defibrillator here because the monitor has non-invasive blood pressure, pulse oximetry, a capnograph, a temperature sensor, and an ECG. We connect everything completely. We see the patient on the monitor, what is happening with them.
Listen, do your colleagues have such vehicles as well?
No, there aren't.
There aren't?
This is the only vehicle like this that I've made, as they say, here on the front line, maybe in the Sami region. Maybe I haven't seen what's happening further along the sectors, but the Corps came and looked, and the Medical Forces Command came and looked. They hadn't seen a vehicle like this.
Wait, so thanks to what were you able to do it, while others can't manage to make such a vehicle?
Desire?
Want. Will somehow,
after every trip where we brought in a wounded person and handed them over to the field hospital, we then conduct an analysis about what we did right or wrong, what we forgot, and so on. Every time we do an analysis, every time we talk through the situation, every time we prepare for these situations.
So this allows you to avoid some troubles?
Of course.
You analyze, you understand your capabilities better?
Of course. Sometimes you might forget something. Well, you can't keep everything in your head. I constantly take these courses, online courses, both on shock and on mechanical ventilation and on medical triage and so on. I take courses, I take them. It would seem that I'll be 60 years old soon, I'll retire and say goodbye, but still I am constantly learning, constantly reminding myself of things, and constantly passing this on to my paramedics.
Honestly, I was surprised by your statement, the assertion that such vehicles on the front line, if they exist at all, are few and far between. It seemed to me that such vehicles should be in almost every unit in order to handle evacuations.
You see, a vehicle can be made, but there are no people, there is no one to do the work.
I see. So the issue isn't the vehicle, it's the people after all.
Of course, there are no people. If there were people, and well, maybe people like, well, enthusiasts of this craft, like me, maybe they would also.
The vehicles are found.
Both myself and the vehicles would be found. If the chief medical officer sees that I'm working, that I want to, that I'm saving people, then he gives it to me. And it's the same with volunteers. They see all of this, they give it to me. If I asked for a Mistral, which I saw at the PHV, Primary Healthcare Center, the state gave it to them. So I asked the volunteers, I said, I need this because in winter they need to be kept warm. And I have warmers. For every case, 2 or 3 of these red heat warmers, they are very expensive. They get used up. There aren't enough of them. What am I supposed to heat them with? I really don't know what to use. They bought it for me, found it in Poland, bought it, brought it, and installed it. I'm all set now. I know that I'll be able to keep them warm no matter what.
Listen, won't you be sorry to leave all this behind?
I will.
Well, you say you're planning to retire. If you retire, what are you going to do there? You'll get bored.
It's a pity, and
I understand that you want to rest, but on the other hand,
I'll tell you that when I go on vacation, and if the chief medical officer sits here or puts someone else in charge, I say, look, I'm handing this over to you like a child. Just as I handed it over to you, please return it to me the same way. My heart aches for it, honestly. Yeah.
So maybe you won't go. No, you have to go on vacation, but further on, well, I don't know, you speak about it with such love?
Yes, this is mine. This is my brainchild. I love it very much, and, well...
You have a unique experience. Do you realize how much your experience, and in general the experience of our medicine, right here on the front line, at the stabilization point level, at the company aid post level, is just some unique, incredible knowledge, abilities, and skills that, I don't know, maybe are written somewhere in books, but has anyone actually gone through all of this with their own hands? That's the question.
I'll tell you even more. Every time I find something new for myself, well, I come up with it myself, yes. When we arrive at the evacuation point to pick up a wounded person, the driver takes his rifle and guards us along the perimeter. When we have received him and are working inside the vehicle, before we start driving, he is positioned along the perimeter. When I say, let's go, he can't hear us. Well, how can I shout to him since I'm inside the vehicle? I made a little thing for that. He has it in his body armor. He's outside and he knows it's time to go.
An elementary thing, it would seem, a call button.
150 hryvnias. We installed it and we're off. Well, these are the kinds of things I come up with so that it works. And this is what I was saying about...
About this splint?
About this little splint, yes. We were thinking about how to do it. 2 old tourniquets, we put a handle on, secured it, and that's it. It doesn't go anywhere. That's it, it works.
Yes, the arm stays put and clear.
Dangles.
Well, okay, and we have the Medical Forces Command within the structure of the Ministry of Defense. Your experience, knowledge, abilities, skills, do you share all of this somewhere with your colleagues? Well, because these seemingly small things by and large save time, and that is extra time to save a person.
Well, whoever reaches out, I am happy to share. Right now, colleagues have also arrived. They've started interacting with us, and they say, we've heard about it. Is it possible to take a look, to show us your vehicle? Please come in. I told them a lot. They took a lot of photos, and they said, we would like to do something like this too, and so on. I say, please take a look, whatever you need. I'm not hiding anything. But as for writing things somewhere, like on forums or sharing with others, I don't like doing that. Well, first of all, we are on duty, and here we are every day. We keep driving at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and it's constantly on the phones, on the radios, so it's not really the time for that. Whoever wants to, we are open. Please, come, take a look. A unit arrived. We've heard about you. We want to take a look. Come in, take a look. Some other units arrived there. Can we take a look at who is going to rescue us? Please go ahead. Oh, that's it. We're at ease.
So, even before going out on combat missions, unit commanders who are taking up positions on the line come to visit you.
They come in for coordination and they know that we are working here. They trust us. They know the guys. They say everything is good. We had a situation where last year we evacuated 73 people. They weren't ours. Our hospital was far away, and we evacuated everyone who was stable, filled out the forms. We sent all the forms off, checked against the list. No one got lost. Everything was at a distance. Everything is fine.
That's what it means when a person is in their right place and the system is working, a well-practiced system.
Yes.
Well, then I don't know. It seems to me that everything you are describing is a good foundation for making certain adjustments to the existing protocols. Because there are protocols, that we work by according to general standards, but as they say, the devil is in the nuances and in these small details. Well, and fortunately, in your case, it's definitely not the devil, but a guardian angel that is hiding in these details.
Well, for example, the machine is designed, you can hang systems here, solutions, and I saw this when I'm driving and it's rattling all over the car. I'm not happy with that. We made a kind of tripod and now everything rides perfectly, everything works and nothing goes anywhere. That is, it's all in the process, we're adapting it for ourselves. We even made ourselves, this 220 is switched off, we added some lights for ourselves. We have everything lit up here so that all the light doesn't...
LED ones, yes.
Yes, we installed LED strips, everything lights up, everything works, it's all nice.
So a full machine is needed.
For the Easy Pulse, for example, you need to put a panel underneath it. Yes. That takes time. Or rather, it's a waste of time when you need to start the heart. We solved this in a different way. We took that panel...
The standard one.
We secured the standard one. We just placed it, put the body on it, attached the Easy Pulse, and started working. That's it.
It would seem like such a small thing.
Everything shows certain nuances in practice that need to be smoothed out, and we are smoothing them out so that later in our work we know what we are doing.
I'm catching myself thinking right now that there is so much we simply don't know about how many cool and good things we have in the territorial defense forces. Just, because we didn't talk about it somewhere, because we obviously didn't take an interest in it somewhere. And when you start methodically taking an interest in people and what they do like this, at some point your jaw just drops and you think, wow, we have something like this? And it turns out there is, that people come to you from other buildings or from the building you are currently assigned to take a look. Well, because a building is a large organism, it's thousands and thousands of people. And there could be not just one such machine on this line, but dozens.
They should be like that.
They should be like that. And there is someone to learn from, someone to tell, someone to teach. Well, look, incredible knowledge, skills, abilities that really just save people. And by and large, this is the kind of thing we really, really, really want to talk about, because it is precisely these things that allow us to believe more and more in ourselves and in those who are beside us. What more can we do than what someone somewhere is trying to impose on us, trying to convince us that we are somehow inept, that we are like, oh, we're all going to die. Yes, we will die in our own time, but first our enemy will croak and only then will we follow them. And that is exactly why such things exist. That is exactly why we must talk about this. And we are talking about it. And we will continue to talk about such people, such machines, and such opportunities that are emerging. Everything comes down to people and their desire. I am genuinely thrilled by what you have shared. The conclusions are as clear as day. Multiply, share knowledge. And this helps us, by and large, to overcome fear. Because when a person knows that they have reliable support, even in the form of such a vehicle, they are already...
The guys who go to the observation posts, who go to the strong points, they know that they need to know that they will be saved, that they will be evacuated, that they will be rescued. And then it will be easier for them to go, you understand, when they go emotionally...
To take a risk.
They are taking a risk. But when they know that their first point, the CASEVAC will pick them up, they will be warmed up, the bleeding will be stopped. Right? That the information has already gone out, that they are already working, that the services have already been activated, the command post is working, we are working, we have joined in, we are already standing at the interception point, we are waiting, then he will know that he will be saved. He won't worry or be afraid, because that's it. He can go at night when nothing is visible, step on a petal mine, on a mine, and so on.
But that doesn't mean that you have a 100% success rate either. You also have situations where you are powerless.
Unfortunately, yes, we had an evacuation here that it wasn't carried out. That is, they already delivered the guy to us in a state of clinical death. His heart had stopped, there was no breathing. I decided to resuscitate him. Well, in order to perform this therapy of hope, we really need to start. We connected the Easy Pulse. I intubated him, we supplied oxygen, and the device started working. There was no effect. We performed 2 defibrillations. And the Easy Pulse device was pumping his heart the whole way. The ventilator was working. Well, unfortunately, we didn't save him. There was internal bleeding, a wound to the abdomen. Well,
in short, the wound was incompatible with life.
we had already received him in a state of clinical death, but I fought for him until the very end. We did what we could. Well,
but there are also opposite examples where you restarted the heart in this very vehicle and saved them.
This is the only case that, unfortunately, was not successful, the evacuation.